Adam Savage here from Tested in my cave. Adam Savage, AKA the old Captain America. Earlier this year, I tweeted this picture, and this is me just after walking the floor at Phoenix Fan Fusion Con in a beautiful replica I own of Captain America's Civil War suit. And it was a custom I'd had for a while. I'd been refining it and making it perfect for myself for a while, and I hadn't talked about it. So it was nice to finally reveal it. And well, we have another reveal today. That Civil War suit started as a contact I made with a fellow RPFer named Kevin Gossett. He hooked me up with fabric and makers and guided me through the early stages of my Cap obsession. And well, Kevin and his partner Robbie Fitch are here today to deliver a commission that we've been working on together for a few months. It's my stealth suit. Yes. Okay, guys, come on in. Hello.
Hello.
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
I mean, we've all met at different cons
That's
in
right.
different
Yeah.
parts of the country.
Yeah. Yep.
But this is the first time you've been to the cave.
It is. Sight to behold, for sure.
We have this thing. It's like people come into the cave and they know it from Tested, but it's still, I always forget that it takes like a good hour to kind of just
You
stop
have
being
to
overwhelmed.
acclimate, yes.
Yes, it's definitely something that you have to soak in.
Yes.
You can't really, it's hard to imagine.
So what happens is people come in like this and we start talking and I want to shoot the breeze about the thing that they've brought. And these guys are just like,
That,
yeah.
and that. I remember
yeah.
that.
But we've gotten through our shooting the breeze.
That's right.
And you guys have brought a stealth suit.
Yes, we have.
I am so excited. Winter Soldier it's my go-to of the Marvel films. It's my favorite happy place. I can watch it all the way through from any point in that film.
Right.
And these costumes are part of this sea change that's been going on in costuming where for the Marvel films, I didn't know this, that an expensive thing is getting the actors out of their costumes and then back into them so they can have a meal without being in Thor's.
And they're super uncomfortable for them to wear, and they
stunt
hate
work,
them.
Right,
anything
right.
like that. Can't
And
move.
so Deborah Landis told me about the stealth suit for Winter Soldier being the first one that utilized a screen printed dance fabric that looks like ballistic nylon.
Right.
And you guys have reverse engineered and gotten this process down.
Definitely.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
And Chris Evans actually said this was his favorite suit of all the suits that he had worn because it was so comfortable for him to wear.
Because it was the
He would
first time
actually-
he had a comfortable
He would
suit.
actually sit down and would eat his lunch in costume because he didn't have to get out of it to do it.
Can you imagine the prop team being like, don't get mustard on it? Like freaking out, like we got to cover that with some dirt.
Luckily, you take the vest off. Because
Yeah.
you can take the vest off
Right.
so that you have, more comfortable with
And-
just the sleeves.
And what I noticed is even in the screen use costumes, when you take the vest off, you've got,
Mesh panels
Mesh?
for breathability.
I'll tell you that the Kylo Ren's costume does not have that.
No.
No, the costume is hot all the way through. Okay, so let's start breaking some parts out and
Sure.
talking about this build. Obviously, I'm going to put this costume on at the end of this, and we'll talk about that. But I'm really curious about your process and about the difficulties and complications.
Sure, yeah, there have been plenty.
Great.
So let's start with the suit. All right, so the big reveal.
Oh, look at that. Oh, man.
So like you mentioned, the screen printed fabric.
Yep.
It has the look and almost the feel of, like you said, a ballistic nylon or something
Cordura.
that's more heavy duty,
But this is even softer
It's
than the
soft,
Civil War suit.
and it's stretchy.
We
so you
refined
can
things a
move
little
around
bit
in it.
since then.
Yeah.
Wow, that is gorgeous. Now, I'm curious about the weathering that's on this suit. Obviously, I'm going to hit this with some Fuller's Earth and
Right.
kind of dirty it down a
Yeah.
little bit. But is there like edge weathering on?
So far, no. This is a clean slate.
No, on this
for
one
you.
I recognize that, but in the screen one.
Actually, not
Little,
too much.
very little, yeah.
Because really the only scene that he wears this in for the most part is the elevator scene and the scene on the boat.
Yes.
And that's
which
it.
are first right when he
Right.
puts it on. And so
Right.
there's not really much weathering just because he's not out in the weather.
Oh, okay.
And also, he did wear it in the opening of Endgame
Right.
as well when they went to fight Thanos.
Is it the exact same suit?
There are some slight changes because that's what they like to do.
This is the thing that happens when you become obsessed with a costume.
Yes.
You get the eyes for that costume.
Yeah.
There are folks on the RPF, and we know them, who can look at any Stormtrooper helmet and tell you not only which movie it was made for, but which maker made it for which movie, when, and how accurate it is. So you have
They
the
can even
eyes for
tell
all
you
these.
which scene it was
Right.
shown in. Yes.
Okay, so what are the tiny differences between this one and the Endgame one?
So that it's really some minor pattern changes that they did. A little bit on the shoulders. It's
like everyone's gotta just add their touch.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so this is just beautiful work, guys. Amazing.
And then you've got the pants on the inside.
Oh, pre-weathered.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Get
no,
some weathering done.
that's the thing about the cap suit is I don't worry at all
About
about
getting it dirty.
Right.
There you go.
This is it's a
So that's urethane. One of our friends, Jordan, with Jordan's Ironic Armory, he's the one that did the stripe set for us.
Nice.
It's one of those things, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Somebody else is already doing it.
Yeah.
And so he made those for us.
Yeah, he 3D modeled them all, 3D printed them, and then mastered and molded. He cast them in a rigid shore urethane rubber with metallic pigments
in the rubber.
in the rubber.
Oh, that's great. So it doesn't scratch.
that's
Yeah,
not gonna
not
scratch
actual
off.
metal, just the
Yeah.
metal
Yeah.
pigments.
One of the things
because you
that
can't buff it.
One of the things I did on my Civil War suit was I took that Molto chrome marker
Right.
and I just hit the edges
Yeah.
of these things to give them a little bit of a light kick.
And the great thing about his set is it was actually designed around this pattern. So
Oh,
all the
nice.
pieces fit the way they're supposed to.
Oh, right. So it's like exactly
Yeah.
from here to here,
Right.
and that's
Yeah.
great. Are these the pants
Those are
inside?
pants
Yes.
inside,
Yep.
yeah.
All right.
So it's the same way as a Civil War suit where it zips at the waist for the
right.
pants to the
Oh,
sleeve.
okay.
So
So,
it's
the
like a
two
one-
zip
so like
together
a
like
ju- a
motorcycle
jumpsuit.
armor.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that keeps your pants from sliding down. And the big thing is if you raise your arms, it keeps everything from shifting upwards.
Yeah,
It
no,
pulls
I-
it back
it's-
down as soon
it's
as
a
you put it
thing.
down.
Yeah, so it's
It's
a
definitely
three-piece
a thing.
suit.
Yeah.
That's
Pants-
something that we had to figure out as we went.
Right.
Because the first set photos weren't until Civil War that showed how this was actually
Right.
constructed. And so that's where we started with the Civil War.
And this
they're-
seems to be missing that lower back piece that Civil War has.
Right, exactly. It was a little bit different in that construction.
So that's where we had to make a little bit of concession with accuracy as
Yeah.
far as zipper placement because his suit doesn't have a zipper. And so it's much more difficult to slide the vest on.
Oh, right,
So we still had to make that concession because the flap on the Civil War goes all the way down the back, and so it hides the zipper. You're fine.
I
On
see.
this one, it only goes the distance that we did here.
Right.
And
Oh,
so we had to
that's
make a
great.
slight concession to make it easy to actually put on.
So there's
Oh, okay. So
there's
this is
those
the
mesh
under.
panels.
Right,
Yeah.
right. This is that's for that '80s look. I didn't realize the
And-
pants had red stripe.
One of the best
a lot of people miss that there's a red stripe on the sides of the vest and
Yeah.
that goes down the pants.
One of the best things about Cap's costumes are the pockets.
pockets.
He actually has functional
Can I tell
pockets.
you, like cosplaying gives me a window in many ways into how awful some of the parts of being a woman must be.
Oh, right, yeah.
And among them are no pockets.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
When
How-
women
can't carry a
complain about
wallet.
pockets, it makes me crazy. Why aren't designers answering this and making beautiful dresses with pockets? in
Right.
them? For crying
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
loud.
And even when there are pockets, most of the time they're fake.
Right.
Yeah, decorative.
That must
Yes.
make. Oh my God. So yeah, I noticed this when I took my cap suit out.
Yeah.
I actually had a place to put my stuff.
Functional pockets. You can carry your phone, your wallet, all that good stuff.
This is gorgeous. So actually, and you guys did the construction on my Civil War suit.
So we had some great behind-the-scenes stills
yeah.
of this suit in particular. So we were really able to translate those details to the pattern much better than most people would have been able to.
Yeah, so we
just-
fine-tuned it with our tailor
Yeah.
to get everything as close as possible
Yeah.
to what we had on file.
It's gorgeous. It's really, I mean, all this patterning just looks super, there's a thing of like, there's these multiple layers, right? There's like, is it screen accurate? But then there's also like, I've seen stuff that's from a ruler standpoint, dead on screen accurate, but doesn't feel right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'll always go for the whole thing feeling better than it being perfectly
And
screen
You
accurate.
get
That's
the
where
best
we
of
go-
both worlds here.
This-
Yeah, and that's where we go for
Gorgeous.
what you see on screen versus what the costume actually is. Because there are some minor differences with color and things like that
Right.
to translate from, because they do color correction on film.
Right,
To
that's
where
so
it
hard to
translates to
nail.
what you actually see on film versus what the actual prop was. Because a lot of times there'll be different shades, that kind of thing, where we that's our goal is more of what is it that somebody saw versus
Right, right.
what it actually was.
When you put it on, when you see it, when you feel it, do you get that feeling that this came right off the movie set?
Yeah,
And that's-
the amount that it moves around is one of the things that feels so terrific about it because not many superhero costumes actually make you feel like a superhero. They more make you feel like you're in an Iron Maiden.
Exactly.
Like you're in a straight
Very
jacket.
stiff. And that's why, because they used to make this stuff out of Cordura,
Right,
something like
right,
that.
right.
And the people that we partnered with did Cordura suits originally, and they were just miserable to wear.
Wow. So is there any kind of metal structure built into this?
This actually has some aluminum rods that run through the connection
good.
points for strength.
Right. So it
'Cause
can't.
in the
it won't
past,
snap.
in the past we've had some that had. So we've added that into our casting process.
Amazing.
Really proud of this set because of the
We've
construction,
entirely
the stitching.
revamped how we do things. So
yeah.
we use our glow forges. We do laser cutting. So
I
the
notice.
leather-
I see
Yes,
your
we've
look
got
at
our logo
that.
there. Yeah.
So all of the leather is now laser cut, and so we get really fine precision.
And Robbie went
nice
through
and clean.
He completely revamped our patterns to make everything more
I
accurate.
used the shots that we had of the screen you suit to do as close as physically possible to matching what you see on screen.
Ooh, I didn't realize how quite different the
Oh, yeah.
the
Yes.
pouches
It's very
are
different.
for this
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
So this is very close to the Age of Ultron.
Right.
There's some detail changes, but pattern-wise, this is pretty much exactly the same as the Age of Ultron.
And
but the
then-
Civil War
yeah.
is totally different.
But
Amazing.
to throw in a wrench, the
Yeah.
Age of Ultron, instead of using 2 layers of leather, it's actually a layer of ribbed screen printed fabric instead of this
On the
top
Civil
layer of
War.
leather.
Oh, really?
On the Civil
well,
War.
but
Well,
the
on the
Age of
Civil War, it's
Ultron
actually the Age of Ultron
has
it's-
fabric.
yes, but it's a it's
Yes.
it's canvas.
On the Civil War and Endgame, they actually switched to a screen printed rib fabric.
So that's
it
actually
looks
3
like a rib knit
layers.
fabric. but
So you
it
have
is-
the 2 layers of leather, and then you have a strip of that fabric.
Have either of you met or talked to people that worked in the costume department on the Marvel films?
No.
not yet.
The thing that I will tell you is that they're hard to find, they're hard to get to, but when you do, I have found that the knowledge I've gained about the super interstices and super minutia about a costume is always like so gratefully received by the people that ate shit building the thing for the first time, right? We go through the same thing, and so
Right.
I love talking to the real makers because you've experienced what they've experienced.
Oh, definitely.
And
Definitely.
that's an abiding connection. Like it means something. These are gorgeous. They also, I can see that they're going to weather really
yes.
nicely,
It's a really nice.
right? Like it's just going
It's got a really nice pull up to it, so
Yeah.
you can scratch it and kind of rub it back in.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. The leather was a real treat to work with. We actually picked up some new leather hand crank stitching machines
Oh, really?
that I used to do these.
I've been
more
eyeballing
precise.
a new walking foot industrial machine called a Sailrite, which Anthony Kovacs, I've done some collaboration with, uses and says it'll go through 3 or 4 layers of leather
Yeah.
and never let go.
Yeah.
I'm super psyched about adding that. Oh my God,
So
this is great.
details on this,
Yeah.
the buckle here and then on the harness as well, those are cold,
Cold
cast,
cast?
aluminum, buffed
And
with
cold
some
cast,
steel wool.
for the record, means a super fine aluminum powder
Yeah.
has been mixed in with the resin. And you
Correct.
used a translucent resin?
So I've actually had my best results. I dust the mold first,
of course.
and then I use a black base resin.
Okay.
So you get a little bit deeper
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
color with the metallic that way. It works really well with the aluminum. It also works really well with something like a brass.
Yeah.
Give you really
Yeah.
deep, rich color that
Oh,
way.
nice.
So I use a black base instead of a clear because I found that I get my best results with that.
It looks great, and of course, because the powder's all the way through the resin,
Right.
you're not gonna have a fascia scrap off.
Right,
Or
exactly.
scrape off.
And then all the smaller detail pieces we actually laser cut with our laser cutters.
Out of acrylic.
It's
Yep, it's-
acrylic with a
Oh,
brushed
right.
finish on
Yes. Okay. So this is what there's that wonderful designer on eBay who sells the panels for everyone's props.
Yeah.
Right. So there is one for
Yeah.
cap suit. There's one for the
Yeah, so it's
Ghostbusters
basically the
pack.
same kind of thing. The reason that we switched that, we used to do the same cold casting technique.
Yeah.
With real small parts like that, it's really hard to not get any bubbles.
Oh, it's-
without
it's a
using
nightmare.
a pressure
And with cold
pot,
cast,
yeah.
you can't really fill and sand the same way that you can with
Right.
just plain resin
Oh,
because you're not
right.
going to
Of
paint
course
it.
you can't.
And,
And
so,
so
you,
with this, we get
Yeah.
perfect results every time.
and then you can go over that with a little bit of fine sandpaper, some black wash, You get some real nice popping details.
Oh,
If you wanted to
fantastic.
mat it down a little
Oh,
bit or
yeah.
anything like that. Yeah.
I want to talk about specifically getting boring this out, putting a magnet,
Yeah.
nice big fat magnet in there, so I can actually.
Yes.
But-
Yep. So what we normally
Am I
do?
right that all the metal shields are too heavy to do that?
No.
No, we
Really?
we
No,
use
they're
metal
not.
shields with it all the time. You
So-
just have to have very strong magnets.
Strong magnets and the the shortest distance between.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
So what I normally do with these is I'll pour a half cast. I'll embed my rods,
Yep.
and then I'll put the magnet in,
I
and
see.
then I'll pour the second layer.
Ah.
So it actually holds the magnet in, and it's about halfway through. So you're not having
Yeah,
3/4 of an inch
Right.
distance between. You're only having a 1/4 inch or so. So that's an option. You should probably be able to just
Forstner
bore,
bit that out and-
bore a hole there,
Yeah.
drop your magnet right in.
Put epoxy behind it.
Yeah.
And that was just because we're on a plane.
Oh,
yeah, we didn't
yeah.
want to bring heavy.
There were some
heavy
weird
duty magnets on
rules
the plane.
about you can take fridge magnets, but big magnets are kind of.
And then there's one other thing that we wanted to bring you.
Yeah.
So, this is from the same fellow that made the stripe set. He wanted to give you a little gift to go with this.
What?
Yep. So
We'll let you go ahead and pull this guy out.
No. Oh, no way. Oh, it's beautiful.
So you've got your own
Oh,
brand new cap helmet to go with your suit.
that is.
and so there are subtle
gorgeous.
differences between
Yeah, no,
this,
I
mainly
see.
because
There's
of the
some- yeah,
wing.
the
That's really the
wings.
only difference. Cap's helmet is actually one of the most
Consistent.
props that they use in any Marvel film.
Is-
Really, the
this
only
is
one
different. This is this.
The texture, yeah.
Wow.
So that actually, I laser cut all this for his masters.
Oh.
So I laser cut this in acrylic, and then
And it's
he
got the accurate buckle.
Amazing.
did a mold, and then put the mold in
Totally.
urethane onto his masters, and,
And then-
then cast it.
Speaking of the
The buckle. that we-
nameplates,
Oh,
and then
there we
they-
go.
so I actually Jordan designed that, and then I cut it.
Oh, and it's got the correct thing.
It's got the correct buckle.
Oh my God.
So a
Okay.
funny thing about the buckle is nobody knew for years and years
What
where
that
this
buckle
buckle
was.
came from. And then randomly, somebody one day found it in a hardware catalog for life-saving
Yeah, it was
systems.
for life flight
Yeah,
people, like
and-
life flight nurses and,
And so
stuff.
they contacted them, and they didn't have them for sale on their website, so you had to call and order them
That changed
over
quickly.
the phone. They actually
got
posted on
bombarded, yeah.
news got out. They actually posted on Facebook one day. That face when
They
the
were like, when
cosplay
company-
community discovers your buckles were
Right.
used in.
and everyone starts calling. They're
Yes.
like, "Baby, why are we selling so many of these damn buckles?"
So they actually added it as an option to their website.
And
for
what's
sale.
funny is they're only like $3.
Yeah.
Right,
They're,
right,
they're not
right.
expensive at all.
I will tell you on this one to make the helmet sit right on the nose. I actually sewed in baling wire
right.
across
So you
the
can
hole
shape it.
inside to shape it and
Yeah.
be able to match. Okay, I'm going to put this on.
Definitely.
Yes.
Go for it.
This is very exciting. Oh, wow!
So if Jen
Nice
asked why
fit.
your head measurement was, this is why.
This is
We
perfect.
had to sneak around a little
is
bit.
absolutely-
So he makes several sizes.
Yes, he makes
Depending on
3
his,
sizes.
because everybody has
Amazing.
different sizes.
This is totally perfect. Wow. All right, let's see here.
You got it.
There we
we
go.
go.
Oh my God! He nailed the. There we go. Yeah.
There you go. Now you're
Ladies, hello. Yeah. Dude, this is perfect. Amazing. I can't believe that the helmet arrived. It's just like, what a mitzvah. oh, wow.
And then he modeled this headstand for display purposes. So you've got that as well when you're not wearing the costume.
Dude, is that Chris or is that just a.
I think it's just
It's
a,
just a
random,
generic, yeah.
generic.
You know, he was in San Francisco being interviewed by my friend Adam Rogers for Wired 25, and I invited him and Ryan Johnson over to the shop, but they couldn't make it. I'm
That's
dying to
unfortunate.
show Cap my cap.
That would be
I would
amazing.
like you to show Cap your cap too.
Yeah. Someday we'll get them
Someday,
over there.
yes.
I can't wait to weather the crap out of this
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we specifically
He-
told him not to weather it because
he
we knew
asked.
that was your favorite part of doing things.
He asked if he should do some weathering.
He
We said
wanted to do
no.
it.
I
We're
just
like, no,
sit there
that's
like,
his
yeah.
favorite part.
Blank canvas.
Amazing. That is okay.
And then one last thing.
Yeah.
So we are starting up some T-shirts
Ooh.
as well. So we brought this
Nice.
for you. We
That's
have ours on as
beautiful.
well. In a previous job, I did screen printing, so I kind of got the itch to do it again. So I screen printed these. It's got our logo on the
That
sleeve
is
as well.
gorgeous. Oh, a two-step with a
Yeah.
sleeve logo.
Yeah.
What a pain in the butt.
Yes, exactly.
So a friend of ours actually has a charity, and so what we're going to do is we're going to donate 10% of all sales of our maker shirt for that. His name is Ian. He runs a charity called Fight Like Mason up in Canada to fight childhood cancer.
Yeah, he lost his
passed
son a
away.
couple years ago.
That's how he actually got into costuming, was at the hospitals when his son was in the hospital. Cosplayers would come in to kind of cheer the kids up. He saw that when his son passed away. He's like, I'm going to do that. And so he actually has one of our suits.
He was the first
we've
person
donated
to
some
get
pieces to him.
one of our suits. Yeah.
And so he does that. He has several suits now, giant charity in Canada. And so we're going to make donations with the proceeds.
All right, I want to talk about the specifics here. This is, the illusion is so complete. I own coats made out of ballistic nylon. I own SWAT gear and stuff like that. It looks exactly right, but it's so lightweight. And this is a piece of the raw fabric. This is actually slightly different.
Yeah, so this is our new process that we're doing. It's a little bit more cost effective.
It's super stretchy.
Exactly, and
It's
that's
a
one
little
thing
bit of
we
a
wanted.
lighter weight fabric.
I
yeah.
can feel that. It's actually almost like a jersey. I mean, it's got a kind of a
It has that feel
weight
to it,
to
but
it.
it's a nice, stretchy four-way fabric. Yeah.
And this was the real sea change, that it's four-way stretch.
Right.
And the actor can move around in
Exactly. Yeah.
it. What kind of, it's a dimensional ink.
Yeah.
Does it puff up? How do you?
It's a multi-process, so you have to with like the t-shirts, you can go one pass.
Yeah.
Usually that's good. This one you're having to do multiple passes to build up the layers.
And they also do a
without
heat.
moving the
and then-
screen.
and
Well,
then-
they
well,
actually
you
have to take the screen.
Yeah.
So you screen it once, you take it out, you heat it,
Heat it, flash it.
so that it puffs it a little bit,
no
Yeah.
and then you
way.
bring it back. You do it. It's
So-
usually about.
And so you
4
have to
5
get the
passes.
screen exactly placed over the same.
And with a screen printing rig, a decent one, registration is usually
fairly simple because you're
fairly
not
simple.
taking it
is it
off of
plus,
the thing.
because that's like plus or minus less than 10 thou.
it's not a cheap process.
Wow, that's a hell of a registration repeatability.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so we're actually doing 24 by 36 panels.
So
Right,
that's
you
actually
can't do
usable.
unlimited sizes.
Right,
Exactly. You can't just do bolt on fabric on a bolt.
Which is
type
why
system.
something like the cap costume works, because it's very segmented.
Right.
You
That's
can
one of the
cut your
reasons
pattern,
they do that with any
and
suit.
it works that way.
They don't
Yeah.
really just make a basic jumpsuit.
Right.
Yeah, because you really can't get
You're limited in the
panels
size.
big enough.
We can't. Of course.
So yeah, we're starting to do some different textures.
Yeah.
We've got the cap texture here. We've got some other basic superhero, like a hexagon, and we've
Like squares, like Deadpool.
we've
Right.
started playing
things
with
like
like a cross hatch that you see on Black Panther's costume.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of subtle things that most people don't even notice, but it's there. And like you said, the eye.
The eye fills it in.
Yes.
It makes it feel real versus just a costume. It makes it feel like a uniform.
I'm so ecstatic about how this looks, about the color choices, even down to like the color balance between this blue and this blue and this blue. It's like that's hard to get.
Right.
Yeah. There's definitely some trial and error there.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, I've got so many bolts of fabric upstairs that are like almost the right color.
Yeah. Well, and like even with your Civil War suit, the colors were much different on that suit than they are on this one. This one's
Right.
a deeper blue. The red is a deeper red.
Since this
so
is
we made
his
changes
stealth-
from
his stealth suit.
Right.
It's a darker blue.
I
It's
see.
definitely more deep. It's not his I'm going to run out in public and save people suit.
Right.
This is I'm on a secret mission suit.
Right. I'm a little darker, a little harder to see.
right.
I need you guys to connect me up with a source for the right stealth shield.
Okay.
And
Got that.
one that, because I think the one, I have a regular shield and it feels way too heavy.
Yes. Yeah, the metal shield, the metal replicas that are out there can be quite heavy. They're great for display. They're great to have on your arm.
Yeah.
And someone come up and, they think it's fake.
Yeah.
They knock on it, like, oh, that's real metal.
I've had that happen quite a few times.
Lots of times that happens at cons. Kids will come up, and they'll knock, and the look
They're
on their
really
face
excited about
changes.
that, yeah.
It makes it real, but they are heavy to wear, and they are heavy to carry around at a con
Yeah,
for hours at a time.
The lightest ones are about 8 or 9 pounds,
Yeah.
which doesn't sound like a lot, but
No,
when it's on your arm for 8 hours,
Yeah.
your shoulder feels it.
Oh, I can imagine. All right. I want to put this on. So I can see this needs a little bit of Velcro.
Right.
Okay.
So that way we have it sized to your size with the costume on.
Terrific. And then I'd also like to talk about the placement of the belt because I'd like to sew in a little Velcro
Yes.
on the jacket.
Absolutely.
So that this registers. And then this can just be a little self-stick Velcro on the
Yes,
back here.
yeah.
Okay, cool. It's just like an alignment piece.
And it also helps too to put a little bit on the harness
If
you're
you're gonna
going to
wear
wear
the
a shield with it.
Yes, and I want
That
to
way,
do that.
because if you have the shield and you don't have that set, it tends to droop.
Well,
and
so
it's gonna
this
pull.
that'll
Yeah.
be nice to do with you guys here because I'm doing it on my pickup version of institutional knowledge. You have the deep knowledge so that we can get that placement exactly right. Okay, good. I'm going to wheel out my sewing machine, and while I'm starting to get dressed in this, I'll break out the Velcro, and then we can start to modify until this is right.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
Dude, this is a masterpiece. Here's the thing about prop collecting. It is a constant exercise in small and large amounts of disappointment. Nothing ever quite matches how good you want it to be. There's no loss of translation here. This feels great.
Yeah, and you can move
It
around.
moves. I'm totally comfortable.
We actually do stunts.
Yeah.
I could
do some
I
parkour
could.
if you wanted
I'm
to.
not allowed to by contract, but certainly I could. Okay, so we need to sew some Velcro on.
Yes. I don't know
do
that
need some
Captain
scissors.
America's ever sat in a sewing machine in costume.
Yes, he has. We just haven't filmed it.
That's right.
There we go.
How's the belt feel?
That feels great.
Good.
Right. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen,
Here we have it.
that's maybe my favorite part about this is
Right.
that cosplay often looks awesome, feels super uncomfortable.
Yes.
This supplies both. Your work is absolutely
Appreciate it.
fabulous.
Thank
Very
you so
much
much.
Oh my God.
Coming from you. Yes.
So ecstatic. Yeah, ready to fight some crime.
right.
Anyone wants to get out of the elevator? Now's the time.